Please welcome to the stage our storyteller, Rachel!
I remember being 6 years old. I'm in the classroom, sat on the tiny person seats, pigtails in, legs dangling off the chair, with my little grey uniform dress, working on my colouring in book. On this day, we have a substitute teacher, and she comes over to check my colouring in. I remember her long brown wavy hair and how it fell around her jawline. I remember the smell of her sweet perfume and the caring tone with which she spoke. I remember that I wanted her to stay longer and just be near me and next to me. And I didn't understand why. And at age 6, I didn't question it. But if it's possible to feel attraction at age 6, this was the first time I felt attracted to a woman. Skip to today, 25 years later, and things haven't changed very much. I'm still attracted to women, and I still really appreciate a good colouring book. But for some reason, never at any point in my life have I been comfortable with being gay. I should be comfortable with it because it's 2017. I live in Toronto, it's a diverse city, and the people closest to me know. So why am I not comfortable with it? Why do I have feelings of guilt and shame? And why do I feel a fear talking about it right now? I wonder if it stems from my Catholic upbringing. I was brought up in an Irish Catholic household, and I attended Catholic schools my whole life. Something I learnt from an early age was Catholic guilt. One of the earliest memories I have of Catholic guilt was morning prayer at junior school. Those of us aged 6 to 8 were herded single file into a gloomy, damp room every morning. When you entered this room, you were hit with this gigantic wall hanging of Jesus nailed to the cross, and you were always reminded that he died for your sins. When you're 6, 7, and 8, this is kind of heavy to be told every single morning. We were knelt on a cold concrete floor and asked to pray. And the teacher, equally as cold, would always start morning prayer with the following. When you bless yourself, it's to open a prayer. And when you bless yourself again, it's to close a prayer. However, we won't be closing the prayer today, as everything you do for the rest of the day will be an offering to God. And he is watching every single thing you do. And I still think, to this day, what if that means I'm currently in a prayer right now? So should I bless myself to close a prayer, or would that accidentally be opening a prayer, and then this is a prayer? And so I have this battle with myself still today, several times a week. I wonder also if maybe it stems from around this time when I'd seen children in the school that were deemed to be different, and they were treated differently. So the left-handed children in my class. Left-handers at Catholic school were told they were backwards, and anything backwards was a sign of the devil. And if they didn't learn to be right-handed and therefore normal, they were shaming their families and God. I'm only just getting started. Maybe it stems from when I was 13 and I decided to come out to my friends. I mean, really, 13 is the worst age to admit to anything to your friends that really isn't normal. So at age 13, when people found out that my parents were going through a divorce and that I'm gay, naturally at the Catholic school, I became the outsider. And I was bullied really badly during this period of my teenage years by kids I knew, kids I didn't, and some of my closest friends. They used to steal my things and put them in the bins around the school playground and then form crowds around me and point and laugh as I used to fish my things out. And this used to happen every day. And somehow the bullies used to always find the bins with the banana peels and the old tuna sandwiches. And no matter how much I washed my things after that, they just never smelt like mine anymore. I have 2 older sisters, and they found out when I was 16, and they were both fine with it. So I know it doesn't stem from around then. Tell Mom, they said. She'll be fine with it. I will, I said like the whiny youngest sister. I will tell her, but when I go to university. And I played this when-then game for years. When I go to university, when I graduate, when I move away and there is more distance between us, then I will tell her. 10 years later, it's 2013, and I go to move my life to Canada. I'm at the airport and I'm saying goodbye to my family, and I leave to go through security. And one of my sisters holds my hand and she pulls me back and she stops me and she says, "Will there be enough distance now? Will you tell her now?" "I will," I said, "as soon as I'm settled in Canada. Then I will tell her." Another 3 years go by. It's Christmas 2016 and I'm home in the UK visiting my family from Canada. My sister and I are performing our annual ritual of wearing our novelty penguin pajamas, playing Pictionary, and drinking our hot mulled wine together. And the cloves and cinnamon taste like Christmas in a glass. And my sister says to me, "Will you tell her now? You're 29. How many more years can you put this off? Tell her now." "I will," I say, "but I'm thinking that Christmas isn't the right time. What if I embarrass the Catholic family and I ruin it for Mom and I just don't know?" And "No," she interjects me. "You need to do this now. I don't think you realize the pressure it puts on us as your sisters, because we feel like we're hiding something from Mom as well. We feel like we're keeping your secret." And I realize, maybe selfishly, that I'd never considered their feelings, just mine. But still, I can't do it. So she leans in closer to me and says, "What if I tell her for you?" And I agree, because I think we both know I can play the when-then game until the end of time. Later on that night, I'm in bed, and I'm upstairs and I can hear my mom and my sister talking downstairs, and I know what about, and my nerves are shot. After a while, it goes silent, and I hear my sister go to the living room door. I hear the door open. I hear her close it quietly behind her. I hear her tiptoe up the stairs towards my bedroom door, and I hear a quick tap tap on my door. "Come in," I say. I immediately stand up. The anticipation almost kills me, waiting for her to walk up those stairs. I jump up and I sit on the edge of my bed and say, What do I need to pack a bag? Do I need a gay Catholic bag?" "No," she laughs. "Mum was fine. Everything was fine." What do you mean it was fine? I need to know everything. What did she say?" She said she told my mum, and my mum let out a big sigh and said, "I don't care Rachel's gay. I don't care about the Catholic thing. All I care about is her happiness, and I see how happy she is." And anyway, I've known for years I'm not blind and deaf. But what I care about the most is that Rachel didn't believe enough in our relationship to tell me herself. And that's a line I'll never forget. But since then, our relationship has been so much better. We've talked about things I never thought we could talk about, and it's like this weight has been lifted for both of us. But still, as I stand here, I still have these feelings of guilt and shame, and I still feel a fear. And why? And I wonder if it was my Catholic upbringing. I wonder if it was the bullying, or how my friends turned on me at that time, or maybe it was just a combination of everything. Maybe it actually stems from hiding it and not talking about it. What I do know is that I won't play the when-then game anymore. The only way to get comfortable with it now is to keep talking about it, to keep feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Thank you.